Listen, folks, I'm sick of the Democrats. Who else is sick of the Democrats? Because I'm sick of them. It's like I'm watching them fight hard to destroy the country. Like, I watch reporters ask Chuck Schumer 10, 15 times to condemn what is happening against Tesla employees, Tesla drivers, who are Democrats.
Democrats say Republicans regret voting for Trump. I don't know what Republican y'all talking about, because I'm a Republican and I do not regret voting for Trump at all.
The numbers say that is a fanciful universe. It really, for the most part, does not exist.
What about the Republican brand in general? Any evidence that people are, leaving that brand faster than they're leaving the Democrats?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm impressed that people are waking up. This lady actually said something that drew my attention, and I want you to see, before even going to that clip, this rumor that a lot of people are regretting why they voted Trump, it came out today to be false. CNN did a whole segment about it. I'm going to show you all the videos so you can see exactly what is happening. Before we do that, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please endeavor to do that. If possible, share the video.
Listen, folks, I'm sick of the Democrats. Who else is sick of the Democrats? Because I'm sick of them. It's like I'm watching them fight hard to destroy the country. Like, I watch reporters ask Chuck Schumer 10, 15 times to condemn what is happening against Tesla employees, Tesla drivers, who are Democrats. He wouldn't even condemn it. There's no leadership right now with the Democrats. If anything, it's like they're all promoting the vice. What is wrong with you guys? Where are you getting your marching orders from? I just don't understand this. It's like you want to destroy this country. And I'm watching Jasmine Crockett say, the reason why you can't afford housing and the reason why groceries are high is because of the migrant situation. Because we need more migrants. What? And then, hold on. Here's one more thing I want to tell you, Democrats. I keep seeing y'all come across some, do you regret your vote? No, this is what we voted for. Matter of fact, we got prepared for it. We knew what Trump had to do. We knew there was going to be reform. We knew how bad the previous administrations jacked this government up so bad. We knew that it was going to be some growing pains with the restructure. But we're fine. Because what did Psalms say? I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Democrats, get it together. Get it together. You are ruining the country. 77 million people wanted Trump, and we want him to continue. We know he's doing a great job. We understand that things are going to happen. But you guys are causing problems, and you're in the way. Get out the way. You're in the way. Okay? You ever had somebody who was just always in the way? You in the way. Signed off an American. Go America.
Called Operation Let Her Speak.
Also, the other way I think you can think about it is that we are, perhaps we are in the downfall of the broken way. This was not built to last. Inequity, injustice is not built to last. It lasts a long time. It could last hundreds of years, but ultimately it crumbles into this, a small cohort of incompetent people that create damage. And from that, something new can spring.
Meanwhile,
Yes, this lady sees the truth. She understands exactly what is going on. Pouring out her frustration like this clearly shows you that people are waking up. This is not first case. I've seen a lot of videos like these, people expressing themselves, how they are observing what is happening. We have seen Democrat encouraging what is happening to Tesla. They don't condemn that. But every single day, they keep preaching to people, we are a party like this. very false. That notwithstanding, CNN did a segment today. They have developed the notions like Trump supporters are regretting why they voted for Trump. Totally false. CNN debunked this because they carry out a lot of polls, and what they found is totally different from what these people tell us every day. Nothing has changed. Trump is climbing there every single day because his base support what he is doing. Nobody is leaving.
One man can answer that question. He just happens to be the one man standing beside me right now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. Let's talk about Trump voters and how they feel. Do they regret their vote?
I mean, this is the big question, right? I hear all these stories, all these articles. All the Trump voters, they regret what they did back in 2024. I'm here to tell you, very few of them regret what they did back in 2024. What are we talking about? Trump voters looking back at 2024. We got a new poll out. The poll was conducted this month. What percentage would change their vote to a different candidate? We're talking just 2%, just 2%. That's not even a wide spot on the road. And then there's this additional 1% who say they would rather not vote. We're talking overall under 5% might or would have changed their vote, Donald Trump voters back in 2024. And then you ask, okay, the same question to Kamala Harris voters, and it turns out the numbers are rather similar. So if there was a repeat, if folks got to be able to redo their vote that they had back in 2024, would the result be any different? I doubt it would be. I doubt it would be, or it would still be extremely close. The bottom line is, for all this talk of Trump voters regretting their vote, in the numbers, it really just doesn't show up, John.
So the stickiness with Trump voters and President Trump in this presidency, how does it compare to his first presidency?
Yeah, okay. So, I was interested in sort of a historical analogy here, sort of, does this look similar or different from back in 2017, looking at 2016? Well, in February of 2017, 4% of Trump voters say they'd shift their vote. That's actually slightly more than the 3% this time around. So, you look back, you say, okay, there's these Trump voters who really regret their vote. Historically speaking, they really don't regret their vote. And if anything, the number this time around is actually smaller than it was the first time around. And it's certainly smaller than the number we saw coming out of 2020, of course, after the events of January 6th. So the bottom line is this. If there's some idea out there that Trump voters are going around, man, I wish I had voted for Kamala Harris instead of Donald Trump, the numbers say that is a fanciful universe. It really, for the most part, does not exist.
What about the Republican brand in general? Any evidence that people are, leaving that brand faster than they're leaving the Democrats?
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday we spoke about Trump's approval rating, right? But it's very important to note, nothing cannot be nothing. That is, when you put two folks together or two folks against each other, the results might look different than just looking at one of them. And on this particular measure, which I think is so important, because what we saw in 2024 was Republicans getting a rare lead on party identification. It was a 1-point lead, according to Gallup. Look at where it was in an average of Gallup polls so far this year, plus 2 points for Republicans. If anything, the Republican brand has actually perhaps gotten a smidgen stronger, though these are within the margin of error. Very different from 2017, when Democrats held a 5-point advantage. And I'll finally note, this looks very much like the generic ballot trend, which in 2025 looks an awful bit like November of 2024, when Republicans, of course, won and held the House.
We will see if these trends continue, but they are very interesting at this moment. Harriet, and thank you so much.
Yes, if you ask me if I'm surprised by this, I would say no, because I don't see anything that Trump voters will say they regret why they voted for him. Yeah, I don't see it. When I look through all social medias every day, what I see, this is what I voted for. Nearly all what Trump has done is what people say they voted for. This is what they wanted to see, the reforms. You saw that lady. It is the same thing she put out. And the mainstream media will always run away with that narrative to say, oh, people are regretting why they voted for Trump. That is BS. Nobody's regretting. They are excited. But when you look at that number compared to how people are leaving the Democrat Party, the number is high. We are seeing how they're living because they don't have a leader. Now AIC is moving up there.
James Carville into this conversation because he had some things to say about progressives that I think will get on a lot of people's nerves. But listen to what he had to say.
Maybe we could have a kind of amicable split here, and we'll go to post in 2026, because you don't ever run, they never run against a Republican, okay? All they do is run against other Democrats. I don't quite understand why you're so anxious to have the word Democrat in the description of what you do, but maybe we can have a amicable split here. And you go your way, and we go our way, and after the election, we come together and see how much common ground we can find.
He's talking there about progressives.
Look, I think that if we are going to be the party that criticizes Donald Trump around his policies on diversity and equity and inclusion, we as a party need to stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion. We do. The Republican Party has a different thing. They have a retrospective view. Make America Great Again is a fundamental belief that the past was better than the future. To be honest, I don't think that comment's particularly helpful. I think there's a lot of soul searching to do, but to dunk on progressives when they are bringing so much energy right now in red states and blue states would be a huge mistake.
With all due, let me just add to that, because I think you're so right on this. With all due respect, and I respect James Carville a lot, but I think he's dead wrong here, because the people who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing is the establishment wing of the Republican Party. They're not bringing the energy. God bless Chuck Schumer.
So you see one example of someone regretting why they voted for the Democrat Party. Now they want to cut off. Thank you guys for always be there sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. If you see clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
Their president, okay, I guess we'll just have to let him rot in a prison, even though he didn't deserve to be there. I don't, you guys don't care about this guy. I'm talking about these two, but somebody else cares about this person. And you just randomly, with no evidence that you'll show anybody, called him a terrorist. And one of the weirder parts about this is the only thing that seems to upset Trump about the entire situation is having to answer a perfectly reasonable question.
I had dinner with President. Like, yes, the Supreme Court said Nazis could march in Skokie, Illinois, a town full of Holocaust survivors. I mean, that's the bar that we have.
Generally called insider trading, and that would
I know better than anybody. Forget about the economists who know better. Forget about people who know history. I alone can fix it.
Have a great day, everyone. Take a little time to enjoy the view, and remember, the resistance is real. You're not alone.
Has anyone else noticed how women on the left are the most miserable group of people? So
Harris is not president. Trump is. And if you don't like him, well,
starting on.
Wish the and a lot of people who didn't vote.
And finally, new rule to those on the right.
Isn't exactly getting the hero's welcome.
The fact that the Americans finally realized what the reality was.
This is a Fox News alert, a crushing blow for Democrats who had hoped against hope.
Brad Schimmel, that has included Elon Musk pouring tens of millions of dollars.
I think you saw a repudiation of the fact that.
Do you think the Republican takeaways tonight are?
He says someone has to come up with a strategy.
No.